According to Arnado, in 2008, minority students made up 45.2% of the student population. This information was gathered by the National Center for Education Statistics. This percentage increases every year. Take a moment and think about this number. Nearly half of the students that make up the U.S. schools are a part of the minority population. Now ponder what we as teachers are doing to accommodate the needs of our highly diverse classrooms. You are likely thinking that we are not doing enough to ensure the success of students who come from minority groups. Some of you might also be thinking we are not doing enough to encourage community and acceptance of all students, culture, and races in our schools. The makeup of classrooms is rapidly changing, therefore it is time that your ways of teaching change as well. Many of you are probably now asking yourselves how to account for diversity in your classroom. The answer is multicultural education. In 2003, the National Association for Multicultural Education defined multiculturalism by stating the following: multicultural education is a philosophical concept built on the ideas of freedom, justice, equality, and human dignity as acknowledged in various documents such as the U.S. Declaration of Independence, Constitutions of South Africa and the U.S., and the Universal Declaration of Human Rights adopted by the United Nations. Throughout this presentation, I'm going to be exploring the question: can multicultural education and culturally relevant pedagogy be used to increase student interest in social studies? I'd like to begin by explaining some of the basic benefits of multiculturalism. The National Association for Multicultural Education stated, "Multicultural education is a process that permeates all aspects of school practices, policies, and organization as a means to ensure the highest level of academic achievement for all students. In addition, it helps students develop a positive self-concept by providing knowledge about the histories, cultures, and contributions of diverse groups. It is imperative that students understand the culture in which they live, as well as other cultures from around the world. Multicultural education provides a way to achieve this goal. Also, multicultural education advocates the belief that students and their life histories and experiences should be placed at the center of the teaching and learning process, and that pedagogy should occur in a context that is familiar to students and that addresses multiple ways of thinking." Smith in 2004 persuaded teachers to make a change by stating, "To alter a dysfunctional system, we need teachers who regard teaching as a political activity and embrace social change as part of the job. Teachers who enter their profession not expecting to carry on business as usual, but prepared to join with other educators and parents in major reforms." Welton outlines 4 approaches to multicultural education in his book, Children in Their World. The first approach is contributions. Contributions are discrete activities and units that focus on heroes, holidays, and unique cultural phenomena. The second approach is additive, which is content and themes that promote diversity and culture. This can include books, units, or courses that add to existing curriculum. Transformational approach is seen when the structure of the curriculum is changed to focus on issues of current events from the perspective of different cultures of ethnic groups. The final approach is social action. Social action is used when the curriculum is reconstructed to focus on the important social issues and students are actively engaged to help solve them. Teachers should make use of these approaches and find the approaches that best fits the needs of his or her students. When beginning a multicultural education, it is important to first look at the curriculum. Arnado stated, "In many schools across the United States, the curriculum is focused on mainstream Americans. In addition, mainstream Americans are considered to be people belonging to the cultural group of white Anglo-Saxon Protestants." Banks and Banks in 2007 explained that a curriculum that focuses on the experiences of mainstream Americans and largely ignores the experiences, cultures, and histories of other ethnic, racial, and cultural and religious groups has negative consequences for both mainstream Americans and students of color. In addition to adjusting the curriculum to adhere to diversity, it is important that teachers also evaluate their assessment strategies. According to Banks and Banks of 1995, assessment strategies based on the assumption that all students can learn provide opportunities for students to improve their performances. Higbee, Schultz, and Goff stated, "Creating multiple ways for students to demonstrate knowledge can enrich teaching as well as learning experiences." I think we can all agree that students learn in different ways, so why do we expect all students to perform well on the same type of assessment? It is vital that we incorporate many ways of assessing into our classrooms so that students of all learning styles, culture, and race have a chance to perform well. Banks and Banks explain the term equity pedagogy by stating, "We define equity pedagogy as teaching strategies and classroom environments that helps students from diverse racial, ethnic, and cultural groups attain knowledge, skills, and attitudes needed to function effectively within and create and perpetuate a just, humane, and democratic society. Banks and Banks go on to explain, equity pedagogy is student-focused. It incorporates issues, concepts, principles, and problems that are real and meaningful to students. Teachers who embrace equality pedagogy assume that all students can learn. They work to develop student potential and create a classroom environment that is encouraging and filled with opportunities for success. Multicultural literature is an exemplary tool to incorporate many cultures into the classroom. Arlenato states, multicultural literature can be used to begin acceptance and understanding of different races, ethnicities, and cultures. For example, for children from mainstream culture, multicultural books assist in teaching acceptance and understanding, which leads to cultural sensitivity. Books can help students see another viewpoint other than their own. The children's book Pink and Say by Patricia Polacco is a great book to incorporate social studies content with multiculturalism. This book highlights the friendship of two young boys. Say is wounded during the Civil War and is rescued by Pink. Pink is a slave in Georgia. He brings Say back home to be cared for by Pink's mother. Say is determined to get better and return to the war to help end slavery. Both boys are taken captive as prisoners of the Confederate Army. Say survived and passed the story along to his daughter Rosa. Rosa is Patricia Polacco's great-grandmother who wrote this book to encourage friendship among various cultures. This book could be used to teach about the Civil War as well as promote community in the classroom. Another book that could be used is Amazing Grace by Mary Hoffman. This book is about a little girl named Grace. Her class is performing the play Peter Pan. Grace wanted to be Peter Pan, but her classmates tell her that she can't be Peter Pan because she is black. Grace is very upset. When she got home, her mother and grandmother told her she could do anything she set her mind to. This book can be used to encourage minority students as well as prevent Caucasian students from limiting the potential of minority students. There are many multicultural pedagogy strategies that can be used. The two that I'm going to discuss are Jigsaw and Portfolio Assessment. Jigsaw involves collaborative learning. It has been proven that minority students will step back when put into a group. It also has been proven that Caucasian students will take control of the group and dominate the conversation. The Jigsaw method forces every student to take a role in the group. This strategy also promotes respect between Caucasian and minority students. Banks and Banks discuss the value of portfolio assessment by stating, portfolio assessment also gives students an opportunity to demonstrate their growth over time and for teachers to give students ongoing support and encouragement. Students can use portfolios to document the complexity and individuality of their work and to reflect on their progress in areas that need improvement. Portfolios contribute to the sound assessment decisions and to student development. They describe and provide materials collectively, suggest the scope of quality student performance. Portfolios also provide the structure needed for teachers and students to better understand and make connections between teaching and learning. That you will all now agree that multicultural education and relevant pedagogy can most definitely be used to increase student interest in social studies as well as all other content areas. Higbee, Schultz, and Goss stated, both educators and students benefit from the true integration of multiculturalism in the educational process. Consideration of diverse perspectives is essential as we educate students for life in a future where national boundaries will be blurred by global imperatives. As stated by Aniana, educators need to be aware of their own cultural sensitivity and move beyond what they may be familiar with to serve the needs of their diverse student population.